Hello, class, fourth grade. I'm so happy to talk to you today. I miss you all very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. So today what we're going to do is we're going to study this material, the science behind mindful breathing, and then we're going to create a mind map for each type. Today we have two types. We have the angry, upset, or anxious mind map. And then we're also going to have the calm mind map. So let's begin by reviewing the material today, and you follow along with your material while I read out loud. As mindful scientists, we can explore the science behind mindful breathing. So as remember from our respiratory system presentations, the respiratory system begins when we breathe through the nose or the mouth, and the air goes down through the trachea and goes down to the bronchi and goes to the bronchioles and then finally goes to the alveoles. Okay, so that was our respiratory system presentation, as you remember. And now we're going to see what are the effects if we do this properly. What are the effects in our whole body? So when we are anxious, angry, or upset, which means if we have a face, for example, if I were to draw a face that was anxious, angry, or upset, that face would look like this. I would draw a circle, and then I would draw two eyes, and I would draw these eyebrows, and I would draw something that looks like this with a nose, and that looks like somebody who's upset or angry. When we're anxious, angry, or upset, the body reacts. So whenever we have this feeling in our brain, okay, where we saw our brain last time, we saw the different parts of our brain. Okay, we saw our brain stem, we saw the cerebellum, we saw this reptilian brain, this other brain, we saw this amygdala that sits right next to the hippocampus. And so we're looking today at what happens in our body when our breathing or when our body is upset or our mind is upset. When we feel this in our mind, or if we feel that in our heart or in our feelings, what happens to the whole body? So this stress system causes changes in our body. So now we're going to look at 4 changes that look and that are caused. We're going to look at 4 changes that happen in our body whenever we feel stress. So the first thing that happens is our pupils open wider. Our eyes, the pupil, the dark spot of our eyes opens wider. Our breath becomes quicker and more shallow. Our heart beats faster. And our immune and digestive systems are bypassed, which means our brain or our body tells our immune system, that's what happens when we're fighting off things like right now that's in the news, when we're fighting off viruses. When we're fighting off those viruses, okay, if we're very stressed, then the body says, no, we're not going to fight off those viruses. We're going to try to stay alive. Or if we use the analogy of our digestive system and we're stressed, the stomach and the small intestine and the large intestine, all of this system, the body says, no, we can't pay attention to that. We have to take care of fight or flight. So that's when the amygdala starts growing and doing things for us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a simple mind map from this material we just studied. And here we have our white piece of paper. And let's begin. So for every mind map, this is a technique, a study technique, and a critical thinking technique to learn how to project our ideas on paper and learn how to memorize our knowledge. So we always start in the center of our paper. So there's corners and then there's the center. So what we're going to do is first we're going to start in the center of our paper, okay? And what we're going to do now here is we're going to start in the center, and I'll start with a little circle here, a little lightly drawn circle. And here in that circle, I'm going to write the main words. In this case, we're going to talk about this stress system. Okay, and here we have that circle, and from that circle, we're going to bring out 4 branches, because those are the 4 main things that we studied, and we're going to use those 4 main branches to determine several things. So here we always remember that we're going to use words, lines, and symbols in color to help us organize our thought process. So I'm going to start by defining this circle with a silver circle around there, and then the center I'm going to draw with the black marker. Stress system. It doesn't have to be perfect. You guys are doing wonderful, fantastic. Stress system. And on the outside, we have that silver. And each of the arms, I'm going to assign a color. So, for example, in this case, I would like to assign different colors. So one color, I'm going to assign green. Another color, I'm going to assign orange. Oh, that is a little black in there, too. I must have been writing on the blackboard with that. Here, I'm going to assign this with blue. And here, I'm going to assign this with red. And now we're going to go on and review the main differences and the main occurrences that happen in our body. So in this case, we're going to start by going through the first one where it said our pupils open wider. So I'm going to start with green up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 eyes. I'm going to draw one eye like this. Okay. And I'm going to draw like this, a very simple drawing, nothing too fancy. And I'm going to draw where it's very small, and then I'm going to go like this. And the next eye, I'm going to draw an arrow, and I'm going to draw a different eye, and I'm going to draw the pupil that's larger in this case, okay? So here we have the eye. Very simple, very symbolic. And I'm going to draw a big dark spot in the pupil. Okay, and this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to say pupil opens. Okay, that's what I'm going to write. So I use words and symbols and color and lines. And now let's go on to the next thing. So here we have stress system. The pupil opens wider. Then also the breath becomes quick and more shallow. I like to associate the color red with the heart. So I'm going to go over here, blue. I'm going to use blue as the breath. I don't know why, I like to use that as the associating factor. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to use a symbol that we've seen already. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to have 2 little things over here. And then I'm going to draw 2 lungs that look like this. And one here. Just kind of doesn't have to be perfect. Like, my drawings aren't perfect, but we have to try the best we can. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say it becomes quicker and more shallow. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to draw another symbol that is like a lightning, kind of like a lightning rod, okay? Like a lightning. And I'm going to also go like this. Okay? That shows me that it's very quick, like lightning, and shallow. Now for lightning, as we all know, lightning, we like to associate lightning with the color yellow. So I'll color that in. We like to use color for our mind maps, and I'm going to use the lungs. I'm going to associate that with pink. So I'll color the lungs pink. Okay. All right. And quick and shallow, and then I'm going to use this this blue for the black line. Okay. So the breath becomes quick and shallow, and I'll put breath, quick, and shallow. Now, it's always important that we're helping our brain associate symbols with words. We're activating both sides of the brain. Now let's go on to the next one. The next one is the heart. So, of course, I like to use the universal symbol for heart, even though it's anatomically incorrect. We at least know that this is the version for heart. Inside the heart, we're going to use this color red, as we associate with the color of our blood. And now what I'm going to do is, I am going to go like this, heart, and I'm going to use these zigzag lines to communicate these symbols and this message, which means the heart beats faster. Okay? So we're going to do that for our heart beats faster. And then we're going to go on to the immune and digestive system. And I'm going to start talking about the immune system and the digestive system. Let's use some symbols for our immune system. I'll use a symbol before, like I did before, and I'm going to use a circle, a green circle. Even though I'm mixing colors, it's okay. I'm going to use a green circle in this case. Or we can use, and then with these points on the end, that's the very universal symbol for a virus. Or we can use an orange. Also an orange circle. There's still some of that black there. I don't know why that's there. I must use that on a whiteboard. And we use that symbol for virus. And then also we're going to have to use some type of color or some type of thing for our digestive system. And for that, I found a nice brown that I have around in the house. And I'm going to use this symbol for the digestive system. I'm going to go like this, and it's going to go like this. And I'm going to use that as a digestive system symbol. All right? I know it's not perfect, but I do think it represents the digestive system as a symbol quite well. And then, of course, like we did before, we're going to say bypassed, immune, digestive, which means bypassed immune system and bypassed digestive system. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a special type of symbol here, and I'm going to put an exclamation point that we all know means bad, and I'm going to put that in a triangle, and that's going to let me know that this is not good for our immune system, and it's not good for our digestive system. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the calm system.